Man, please. He owns it. He claims it. There's no need to prove it.
It's okay. You'll come back tomorrow.
I tried digging up a bush yesterday. Big mistake. I saw a guy on TV yesterday. I swear he drew his beard on with a dull Sharpie.
Start spreading the news.
Yeah. Can a brother get a sandwich up in here or something? The cops and the firemen were kicking each other's butts.
Man, please.
Man, please.
Man,
Please. Can we get on with it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Good day, everybody. You're listening to the Man Please Show. I'm your host, Trog. T-R-O-G, that is. How's it going, everyone? It's a lovely day in the neighborhood. I want to invite you guys to visit the website. I've recently updated it and brought it current and everything like that. So all the phone numbers are the same, are correct. All the times are correct. All the pictures, I added some pictures. You know, that kind of thing. Not multimedia. What is it? Social media. That is so important these days. And I got to keep up with it. I mean, I'm a one-man show. I got to do it all. And right now, I'm not doing it all, but I'm getting as much done. We've got this show tied into Facebook. We've got it tied into, well, of course, we're broadcasting on Spreaker. So you can go to Spreaker anytime you want to hear the show. Anytime. 24/7. 365 days. Thought you were going to trip me up, didn't you? So you can check it out there. You can check it out. We even have a YouTube channel. It's not a video blog. We haven't worked that out yet, but that's okay. You know, you don't need to see me to understand me and to know what I am verbalizing, what I am spitting into your ear. Yeah, that was kind of gross. Sorry about that. Yeah, check out all those things and do all that kind of fun stuff. Hey, look, we're going to be talking about something that I really find very interesting. I was watching a program this morning, CBS This Morning. I watch that every morning. I love that show. They have such a good camaraderie. And, you know, they make you feel like you're there with them, like you're sitting there at the table. But they did a story about vaccines. The MMR, which is measles, mumps, and rubella. It's been around a long time. And it saved thousands upon thousands of lives, I guess. Can you die from any of those things? I don't know. Maybe you can. I had the measles. I had two kinds. I had the regular old measles. Then I had, and correct me if I'm wrong. I know all of you, you know, my phone's just ringing off the hook here. By the way, you can call me at 336-987-8667. But what I'm wondering is, you know, I recall having two kinds of measles. My mom used to brag, you know, hey, yeah, my son had two kinds of measles. He's a badass. So I had the regular measles, and then she said I had something called the German measles. I don't know if that's worse or not worse or what, but I had them. And I had the chicken pox. I had the mumps. I did have the mumps. I don't think I had rubella. I don't know what that is, actually. But I'm glad they got a vaccine for it. But, you know, when I was a kid, vaccines were fairly new. They actually were new when I was a kid. I was born in 1961. A lot of you out there, well, no, actually, the people that listen to me would be familiar with that date. But I've got some interesting information, and I want to talk about the families, and I'm going to try my best not to put them down, not to, be disrespectful and say ugly things or anything like that. But there are parents that refuse to allow their children to get vaccinated against anything. For some of them for religious beliefs, and some of them just don't trust the vaccines, just don't trust the government. I don't know if they're conspiracy theorists or, they just don't trust the government. A lot of people don't trust, there's reason not to trust the government because the government lies. Of course they do. But when it comes to the, I trust them to a degree. I trust them enough to give me a vaccine because, we have recourse if they do things that they shouldn't do and cause death. We have recourse. Unless you're a spy and they shoot you in your sleep and leave the gun there with your fingerprints on it and a note written in your own handwriting, suicide note. Whew. But, they do that too. But I trust them with vaccines. I do. And, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't trust them with the vaccines because I think some of them say, well, I don't know what's in there. What are you injecting into my body? Well, I get that. I get that. But I wonder if these folks that don't allow their children to be vaccinated and don't vaccinate themselves, if they ever have any kind of a shot. Do they go get the flu shot? Probably not. They probably don't get the flu shot. Some of them don't even go to the doctor. And I think there's some parents that didn't take their children to the doctor or their child to the doctor, and the child died, and then they were prosecuted, put in jail. And I think they should. Because your religious belief, if God wants to take your child, he doesn't need your help. He don't need you to starve your child, or he don't need you to not care for your child. God doesn't need you to make sure that this child dies by not getting it medical help. If God wants your child, he's going to take him or her. So that, in my mind, disclaims anybody's right to deny their child any kind of medical attention. Sorry about your luck. That's the way I see it. They say, well, this is my belief, that God, I don't even know what they base their belief on, for not giving their child medication. I mean, I've read the Bible. I'm not a scholar by no stretch of the imagination, but I've read it. And I've talked to people who are scholars, and I've talked to people who have read it, and I know it's hearsay, but I've never heard anywhere in there where God says, don't, he's the great physician, of course, yes, but he's the physician who is teaching the rest of the physicians. He's the great physician. The rest of the physicians are just, his little elves. But if he wants your child, he'll take it. He doesn't need your help. Okay. Excuse me while I step down from my soapbox there. We're gonna I don't know. I want to talk some more. So there are people who believe that the the vaccine, the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella. And I'm sure all of you know that there is a measles outbreak right now in this country. I don't think it's epidemic, but you know why there's a measles outbreak? Because people haven't been immunized. It was supposed to have been eradicated, I think, in 2000, 14 years ago. Well, I think when they say, oh, it's eradicated, that doesn't mean that it just doesn't exist anymore. That just means that there are no organized, like, for example, organized breakouts and like exactly what's going on now. So you have these parents that refuse to immunize their children. Their children are getting sick, infecting other children, affecting adults. Because that vaccine, I think that vaccine actually, has a shelf life. Everything does. You need a booster. I've heard them talking about boosters, and people need to get boosters. I've actually had the measles, so I don't think I can get the measles. It's like the chicken pox. Once you had them, you can't get them. But these people, and here's their complaint. Here's their concern. They say that there's evidence that suggests that the MMR vaccine causes autism. Well, I did some research. I actually did. One of those kind of guys. A research kind of guy. Let me pull it up here. I'm here in my Man Please cave. Let's see what we got. That's not what I pulled up. Here we go. Hold on. It says because the MMR vaccine is first given at the age 12 to 15 months, and the first signs of autism often appear at 15 to 18 months of age, concerns have been raised about the possible link between the vaccine and the development of autism. Studies conducted in the United States and Europe have found no association between the MMR vaccine and autism. Over the years, the Institute of Medicine and the AAP have organized several panels of independent scientists. All concluded that there is no association between MMR and autism. And that's from the American Academic of Pediatrics. And let's see here. See if I can give you the search results. I would give you the website, but just go to it's MMR vaccine and autism at the American Academy of Pediatrics. Check it out. Be fascinating. I heard a lady this morning that was interviewed, and she's one that, she's almost kind of pompous. She's talking like, well, I have information the rest of the planet is not privy to. You poor, pitiful souls, bless your hearts. That's the kind of attitude she had. She said that the vaccines, she said, you know what the vaccines do? It may block some of the symptoms. That's all it does. Just blocks the symptoms of measles, mumps, and rubella. That's what the vaccine does. It just blocks the symptoms. And she actually said that on television for everybody to hear. After I got done laughing,